Welcome to Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. We're here again to bring you another package of Daybreak Nigeria. In today's package, we are going to talk about the last-minute action of political office holders in Nigeria and how it's affecting good governance. I have two guests, two gentlemen, to discuss the show. On my immediate left is a gentleman, Anukanti Vegilus Chukuma. He's a He's a realtor in Owerri and chairman of Silver Bricks Limited, a real estate firm. Sir, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you very much.
And next to him is a regular on this show, Martins Uri. Martins Uri is the publisher of the New Oriental newspaper. Martin, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Afam.
My name again is Afam Echi, your host. Please remember to give a thumbs up on this program and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to discuss, like I said earlier, some of the developments that are coming up as people prepare to exit governance. Some of them are very well known to us. Now, 2 days ago, or just yesterday, we got to know that the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, swore in 4 new commissioners. And one will be wondering, what are these commissioners going to do in just about 19 days' time? It gives cause for concern. Let me ask my guests here, Vegilus, I don't know what comes to your mind when you hear things like this.
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue of governance politics in Nigeria has taken to so many dimensions that if you want to discuss it, if you don't get angry, you might want to walk out. Agreed, government is a continuum. But if you also as a leader believe that government is a continuum, why not allow whoever that is coming to take over from you to take most of these actions? Appointing commissioners few weeks to go doesn't make any sense. If you have it as a good plan, probably you created a new ministry and you want somebody to man it, keep it down for your successor, whether he's from your party or not. Keep it for your successor. Look, I have this idea, but time couldn't permit me to finish it up. Can you please start it up and then run with it? But because of what I see as greed, corruption that's eating deep into our fabrics in Nigeria, somebody will want to, like I heard of our government, they want to dredge Uguta Lake and the rest of them. And you begin to wonder, after how many years, some months to go, you want to take up a big project. It's good to dredge Uguta Lake. I'm not saying it's not good, but then check the time frame. As a government, check your lifespan, just like Umahi did in Ebonyi State. What for? Those commissioners, most people come to office to learn on the job. So given the fact that you have about 3 weeks to go, what do you want this young man or this young lady to do as a commissioner? Do you understand me? So
within 19 days.
Within 19 days, what do you want the person to do? Or at the expiration of that tenure, you will now run to the new governor, please absorb these commissioners. They haven't tested power much. They haven't enjoyed so much. Like we say it in our local parlance here, juicy or whatever. Lagers, they have not enjoyed. So for me, I see it as greed. If not for greed, keep it low. Exit office. Make it come as a suggestion to the new government. Look, young man, I have this plan. Can you please carry it out? Thank you.
Okay, Martin, what are your thoughts about this development? Do you think the government meant well, that whatever is happening is well-intentioned for the interest of the people?
Well, the truth is that for every government, either at the local, state, or federal level, there is a time frame, what we call a phases. In the business times, in the corporate world, I think they use the word quota, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So for me, no government in power at whatever level that can come to tell me that 19 days to leave office and the man is embarking on a humongous project. Why didn't the governor or the president or the local government chairman start this project in the first quarter in his tenure? Because you know that you have 4 years. So you by now, if it were in the examination hall, you should be reading what you have to know, to cross the T's as we say and dot the I's, not answering a new question because you are not going to finish it, and you may make mistakes. So the only thing is that what precipitates this is nothing but horrendous corruption. Horrendous corruption. There are some money they want to retire, and they're going to tie it. That are going to tie it into these projects. Some of them elephant. I remember that in Abia, T.A. Oji, Senator T.A. Oji, started what he called Abia Airport at the 11th hour. Where is it today? You understand? Oguta Lake. Oguta Lake is a very beautiful project. If when you were sworn in on May 29, after 6 months you start, hoping that before 3 years that project will be completed. It must not come. It must not come when you are going. About the people appointing commissioners and heads, I'm very surprised that a governor that purportedly produced his successor. I'm talking of now Senator-elect Ebonyi is appointing a commissioner. What is four commissioners? What are they coming to do? To do what? To do what? Are you now telling us that the incoming governor is hell-bound to still reintegrate them in the new, in his new assignment? What if he does in his placement? These people you brought are not his type of. They don't have the characterization in those ministries to fit in. As he said, as Virgilius said, you now start going to lobby, and that is where the crisis of godson
interest
Godfather, that's the issue. So, in a nutshell, this issue of appointing commissioners or heads or embarking on projects, few days, few weeks, few months to the expiration of any government in power, it is nothing but absolute corruption, and it cannot lead to any successful or meaningful impact.
Okay. Now let's move to Abia State. Now we have seen what happened in Ebonyi. We are saying appropriately the man should be doing a handover.
A handover.
Okay. Instead of
new projects. You have been there for 4 years. If you didn't do anything in
his case, 8 years.
In his case, 8 years. If you didn't do anything in 4 years, in 8 years, what are you going to do in 3 weeks?
Now this issue I'm going to talk about, issue of engaging people, employment, last minute employment, hiring of workers and promotion. It appears it's become the norm, it's habitual among our governors. Like in Abia State now, where it is reported that there is a kind of employment racketeering. People are being engaged in mass and employment backdated. And the incoming governor, the governor-elect, Alex Oti, has raised the alarm, warning about it. But the reaction coming from the sitting governor says he should mind his business because he's not yet a governor. Now, people believe that is a way to set landmines for the incoming government. And we saw in the past these things has happened, even right here in our state. So what do you think is the motivation? I ask you, Virgilius, that propels these governors to go to do what they are doing?
Like my colleague Martin said, it's just absolute greed and corruption. Otherwise, as I said earlier, if you have this good plan, why not wait to hand it over to your successor? Please consider this, consider that, lobby him, give him reasons. And for me, this is the more reason why we have abandoned projects, so many abandoned projects in Nigeria. A situation whereby you will stay in the office for 8 years, you would not care about an airport. You wouldn't care about a university. You wouldn't care about a landmark, a big hospital. But 3 months to go, you lay a foundation for an airport, you lay a foundation for a big flyover, you lay a foundation for a big hospital. By the time you go out and the person coming in isn't from your party or isn't your handpicked, the person abandons it immediately. No matter the billions of naira that has gone into it, the person leaves it. All over Nigeria, scattered, especially in Southeast, is so many. We have so many abandoned projects. The reason why you have all these things, government is a consumer, as I said before. I believe that if sincerely you initiated a project, no matter the millions of dollars or millions of naira it will cost, if this project is laudable, for instance, Imo Airport or maybe a university for Imo State, assuming we don't have any, and after, as he said, it mustn't be some months to go or some weeks to go. It should be something that I should have given up to 50, 60, 70% before my exit. And whoever that comes in, whether from my party or not, as far as that project is sincere, ab initio, and laudable, that other successor is expected to continue with that project. But in a case, we all do it here in our own local parlance, you see that if your successor is somebody who is vigilant, who is sincere, he would never continue with that project. In the days of Saikedo Hakim, he employed more people. No doubt his employment. But that was some months to go. 10,000 workers. Do you understand me? It is a trap for the next government. Meaning that if what you pay as salary is 5 naira, for instance, and the man who is supposed to hand over to you now employs 10,000 people more, he has already made your salary wage to be up to 10 naira, from 5 naira to 10 naira. The allocation remains the same. Probably the IGR also remains the same. So it's a trap for you. It's either you pay these people or he is setting you against your people. And when Rochas came in, what happened? He abandoned those 10,000 people. He abandoned them. Rochas himself also did some employment, both in his Sopadek and the rest of them. Emeki Adyan came in, set up a committee to quash those ones. Hope Uzodinma came and sacked many of them. So what Okezi Ikpeazu is doing in Abia State, in particular, for me, I don't see any good intention. He is employing Abia people, no doubt. Our people need jobs. But why in a hurry? Why the rush? You spent 8 years. You did not employ your people. The employment, if you are sincere and honest about it, my good brother, the employment should have been, like he said, 6 months into your office. Because you are giving yourself 3 years and another 6 months. 6 months into your office. Absorb the people, give them responsibilities. If you view them as productive to other state or to your own state, the next person who is coming after you would definitely absorb them and go ahead with them. But employing people anyhow just to make sure you answer good name or you cause a problem for your name. If I am the next person coming over, I will review it and most likely they may go. Okay. That's my suggestion on that.
Okay, Martin, you see, these issues are not restricted to the state government. Even at the federal level, we're experiencing a related development. We just had, just a few days ago, that the man at Asorok, President Muhammad Buhari, is
approach National Assembly for even some trillions of naira as loan.
Yes. So they want to renovate Asorok. And when you take it further, you discover even some borrowing, just like he remarked, he approached National Assembly, and they were converting some federal government borrowing from the central bank into bond that will last for 40 years. And even in our state here, I'm talking of state government borrowing, shortly before the election, the Imo state government got approval from the State House Assembly to borrow some amount of money, and you begin to wonder why all these periods that they are almost exiting government.
You see, it still goes to underline the points or the facts we are trying to make here, which is, number one, we don't do things based on processes and procedures. Number one, I don't think that before you do anything in the government, it is either morally wrong, morally right, politically wrong, politically right, constitutionally right, constitutionally wrong. These are the three issues. Now, before anything is done from the State House of Assembly, they are representing a constituency. Which time did the member representing me from Ebonyi State constituency called for memorandum, called for understanding,
participation?
You understand? For us to participate from the grassroots. Yeah. This is what we are going to do, and we have been given the mandate to go to the constituencies to see the responses and reactions of the constituents. It was never done. You will now begin to wonder, and you should know that when this bill was passed into law, they read the thing today, tomorrow it was passed. When did they study? No opportunity for no public hearing. Even then themselves did not study the executive bill the governor must have brought to them. At the time, you don't know, they even give their heads to the platter. You understand? So that is point number one. Point number two, it goes to show that the people who rule us are planless. If you plan very, very well, I'm even saying 4 years, he corrected me 4 years. President Muhammadu Buhari has been ruling Nigeria for almost 4 years now. In the next 19 days, it will be 8 years. Muhammadu Buhari has been ruling. If he had had a plan, a program, and a policy towards a particular project. Why that trillions of money, of naira, is going to come in? That thing ought to have been running, because we were told that Rome was not built in a day. But the thing was that if you go there today, the block you saw on Rome, tomorrow it ascends. The next day it goes higher. Until you get to the lintel level, until you get to the roofing, before 1 year, everything is completed. It does not mean that there was no site clearing done, no bricks were brought, okay, there was no foundation laid, and then all of a sudden you saw room existing. No, that is not the meaning. The meaning is that for 8 years we have been in this administration, there was no plan, there was no policy drive, it was not clearly stated. They just now woke up. They just now woke up now and they want to do this. That's point number two. Point number three still shows the corruption we are talking about. The system is gratuitously corrupt. Because if we have the three arms of government working at the Senate, the National Assembly that plays oversight function ought to have stopped it. Instead, they will still rubber stamp it. Because it is as it goes, as it comes. Everything goes, good or bad. And for them, it is the worst that always comes to pass. So the truth is this. This is part of the reason Nigeria is not growing. Because for us to be here, you invited us. And you know that we are going to have this program here. That is an act of planning. We are now in the program. That's another act of planning, which is progressive. From inviting us, we have kickstarted. Within the program, you are going to cut it short. Whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That is how government should be. It shows that our people, the people we elect, unfortunately, I can tell you that we don't elect most of them. It is through massive manipulation of the process, as we saw in the last elections. So the thing is, all borders around systematic failure. The system is collapsed, and you cannot get anything meaningful from it.
Okay, there is a worrisome aspect of this whole thing, Virgilus. You see, this practice has become sustained because this is not the first time we are having it. And what do you think is the motivation of the leaders? What gives them the courage to be doing this, even when they know that it is wrong? And maybe because nobody challenges them. So why do you think this corruption of a thing, why has it persisted, even when there are agencies that are responsible for checking corruption? And
Just like laws. When laws are made, for instance, criminal law, any law that is criminal must have a punishment.
Okay.
If there's no punishment, it's not a criminal law. It could be civil, which means the punishment could be compensation. For every law to be adhered to and obeyed strictly without being impotent, there must be punishment attached to it, consequences. But in the case of Nigeria, as he said, the system is already collapsed. So most of the things we do, there's no consequence. No one is concerned. Just like electoral fraud. Somebody was telling me last month, he said, Anokanti, don't you think it is important we set up an electoral offences commission and related or whatever of its commission? I was laughing. I said, so in other words, if we don't have such commission, it is good to rig elections. Even when the constitution said you must not do that. So it's good, you must wait for an offense commission to be set up before we do the right thing. Just look at INEC in the last election, February 25 election, going against their own rule, their own guideline.
With the setup.
Their own guideline, even against the electoral law, passed by the National Assembly, the highest lawmaking body of the country. Someone flouted it without consequences. He announced the result. Till now, he works freely. What they are waiting for is for the judiciary, another arm of the government, when they are supposed to do we call it call over in banking.
Yeah.
You call over, you give to your boss to do call over, probably end of day balancing.
Yeah.
You do your own, you give to your supervisor, who also does same thing.
Verify what you have.
If you don't get a mistake, he might get the mistake. Yesterday, I was looking at Oshun's election, Supreme Court and the rest of them. Look at P2B and Atiku's Tinubu's election petition tribunal. So many, the booklet I saw as petitions, very big. INEC gave room for all these things. If INEC had done what they're supposed to do, believe me, in Nigeria, you will be asking yourself, is this our country? That after elections, people will not go to tribunal. Because they will congratulate you.
Very, very...
Do you understand me? They will congratulate you because in my own local palace, they said, at all. If elections are conducted free, credible, and fair, my dear brother, if you win me, I will hug you, congratulate you. And I will tell my supporters, there is no need to go to election petition to contest this election because he won fair and square. But in a case, even your own guideline, you did not adhere to it, and you think the man who feels he won the election should be happy with you. He will approach the court. And whatever it takes for the judiciary to do the right thing, what we are saying is, let them do the right thing. It's not as if Atiku won, P2B won, or Tinubu won this person, I won my candidate, but do the right thing. In interpretation of in doing the right thing, interpret this constitution the way it is. Don't bring in technicalities. So your question borders on no consequences. That is why we do whatever we like in Nigeria. That a political leader will come up. Imagine a wreck in a democratic setting. Who doesn't have the constitutional powers to announce the result? He mounted a podium, announced the result of his not minding the consequences. Because there's no consequences.
And the result he announced was not the person that won. It would have been another thing.
It would have been another thing.
That maybe he wanted to protect the winner.
Good.
We might be looking at it from there.
Even when you want to protect the winner, constitutionally you don't have the right to announce it. It is still null and void.
Yes.
The right thing should be done by the right person.
Yes.
Do you understand me? So, till now, at some point we heard that he's at large. They are looking for him. What are they looking for him? Doesn't he have a contact? Don't you know where he lives? You have his last address, assuming you want to serve him. He has a phone. When you call the phone, it rings. There's a mast covering that particular area. Communication ministry, what are they doing?
You know where he is.
Do you understand me? So until we begin to act, the agencies meant for this, or until they begin to live up to the billing, we will still be in the same situation, same quagmire.
Okay, we need to round up the program at this point. Martin, what do you think? Just one point. Your final opinion on this issue. What do you think should be the way out?
AFAM is a reputation. We have been saying it. The institutions ought to be strengthened. And when you strengthen the institution, allow the operators to work. Because he mentioned the INEC. I'm very much convinced that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu wanted to work. If you see the things he put on ground, the innovations he brought, the enlightenment, sensitization, everything, we tell you that the man wanted to work. As we normally say here, there was a force, a power from above who said no, is this, and here we don't resign. So the thing is, let us strengthen the institutions, whether it's security institutions, political institutions, democratic institutions. All the institutions should be strengthened. And when you strengthen the institutions, please allow the operators to do their work without unnecessary influences here and there.
It's okay. What do you have to say?
Well, finally, let me, before I go to this other one, let me disagree with him. Okay. Mahmoud Yakubu is corrupt. No, no. If you is humongous, I know it. No, see, listen. If you deviate, okay, fine. I will draw it. I will draw it. But he deviated from his own guideline, okay. And it's an offense. It's a big offense. So no amount of force. If you are righteous, if you are stable, if you want to do the right thing, no amount of force. I remember then as a union electoral commissioner, chairman in Imo State University Union Government. I had a lot of pressure. Do it this way, do it that way, even from cultists. Do it this way, do it that way. I said no. In fact, I had to bring the elections to the security booth. First time in the history of Imo State University. Because I want to make sure whatever it is, that ballot, that box, is what will be counted. So you don't have any excuse when you do the wrong thing. As he said, I agree with him in this other aspect that our institutions must be strengthened. Just look at yesterday, Donald Trump, former president of America, was caught liable, right, in some sexual assault and the rest of them. It doesn't happen in our own climb here. So if institutions are made strong, like we are begging on the judiciary right now to please strengthen the record, strengthen it and make it strong. So by the time you make an institution strong, first of all, making an institution strong is electing the good leaders, electing the right persons. If you elect them, things will take shape on their own. Thank you.
Yeah, this is where we draw the curtain. Martin, thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Now, you've heard it from them that, according to Martin, said horrendous corruption, and Virgil said greed is what is propelling the leaders to do what they are doing. And only strengthening the institution, according to their recommendation, is what can see us out of the woods. Now, it is left for those we are talking to play by the rules so that Nigeria will become a better place for everybody. On this note, I remind you again to please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name again is AFAM H. Thanks.